Okay, I received email relatively quickly from them to set up the account. Then it looks like you just click right here to activate blog. The fact that everything in their site quickly at first refers to blog, you can change a blog to look more like a website than a blog. But if you're after a blog, then it's much easier. So here we are loading up into WordPress. Okay, and then you should get something like this, which you follow the directions. We'll go ahead and click on our link here. And you can see this is the default way your site looks. It has your chosen name of your site, and then it says a fine WordPress.com site, gives you a home and about link, and it says hello world. If yours doesn't automatically take you to the site like mine did with me logged in, because it remembered my password, my computer did. So for you guys bouncing back and forth between computers, it may bounce you to this site here, which is just a general WordPress.com site, and then you'd have to click on login and then log in with your basic information from the site. So we're back in the actual site, and you could right away just click right here, new post, and click a new post. There's usually more than one way to do everything in WordPress, and I'm just going to show you what I consider to be the easiest way to remember how to get back and forth to stuff. So if you click on the name of your site over here, actually I didn't even have to click, just hover the mouse over it. This is the way I work. And so you can pick, what you want to do if you want to make a new page or a post. But one of the first things we need to take care of is going into dashboard and go ahead and set this account up so that it's a little bit more personal. So click on dashboard from this little drop down, and one of the first things you want to do is go into settings down here, and we'll go through a couple of these. In the general setting, just like you might think, site title, you probably want to leave that to the name that you set up for your site. Makes the most sense. But the tagline, you could probably change that to be a little bit more about what you're doing on your site. Um, and then your email, this is used for administration purposes only. So it's not like it's given out to everyone. You can change the time zone, the date format that shows up when you post a blog. Um, just some basic stuff like that. So all I'm going to change in here is just my tagline. So I just type something different in here, and then when you made all the changes you want to make in here, you just go down to the bottom and click on Save Changes. And then next we'll go into this called Writing, and this is where you can choose a little bit of how you want the blog to look. For now I'd say just leave most of this the same, and then as you maybe think of things that you don't like about the way it looks, just remember how you got here under settings and writing, and you can go back in and change some of it. We'll address some of these other ones later, but privacy is one that you should consider right away. Allow search engines to index this site. Sometimes it's better to wait till you get it set up a little bit more. So I checked here, ask search engines not to index this site. It's not a guarantee that they won't. It's kind of an automated process, but it should say, like in some metadata up at the top, that the site prefers not to be searched. And then later on, when you have it set up, then you can turn this on, so when the search engines do enter it, they'll have a better idea of what the site is all about. You can make it a completely private site, which is kind of interesting if you're like on a design team and you just want to set up a site for just like the 4 or 6 of you. Don't feel like you have to know all of this stuff to get started in here. There's like a lot that you can kind of peruse as you get going if you're teaching yourself this. Um, Here's one that you may want to set up sooner than later, though, is under Users, My Profile. Here you can choose the way people see you. You can even set up an avatar. This is like the default avatar they gave me for mine, but you can go to avatar.com and set up a personal avatar. If you're trying to like sell yourself on this site, like get your name out there, then you're going to want to fill this stuff in, put your location, a little bit about you so people can click on that when you set a post to get more information about yourself. You can give them contacts to you. So, that's of course up to you. And then this is for inviting users. You can set up this site so that more than one person can actually post blogs. Just be careful that you don't give that you're the only one who has complete administrative privileges. Otherwise, it can get kind of weird. Um, let's see. So probably the next thing that you would want to start experimenting with would be the different themes that you can pick. But actually, before you do that, you should probably maybe do your first post. So let's go up here to post, and if we hover the mouse over it, we see that there's an option here for going into our post, adding a post, setting up categories for our post. So let's just make a new post here. So you give it a title, and then type something in. So here you could let people know what this blog is about. I just kind of made something up here. I'll be talking about blah, 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 and I'll look forward to hearing your comments. And you just come over here, you click on publish, and before long, you should see that your site has changed already a little bit. Okay, and then if you want to see what your site looks like, just come back up here and just click on the site name like that. And that's going to be what your site looks like that people coming in would see. They won't see this top line right here. If you really want to see what it looks like, log out and log back in just like somebody else would. Let's see. So yeah, there's the first blog that I actually put in, and then so if somebody wants to see it, they just click there and takes them into a little bit more information about what you wrote. And then here's the one that was originally put here by the default. So I just added another post just so you can kind of see how they would stack up, basically what the users would see. And then if they want to go in, like I said, more information on a particular post that you just did, they can leave you a reply, all that good kind of posting stuff, blogging stuff. Now where you can have a little bit of fun with this site or blog is you can change the theme of it. So if we go up here, again, click on this thing, go into dashboard, and then we're going to go under appearance. You can see one of the first things, the top thing here is themes. And this will take you into an area that has all these different kind of themes. There's a ton of free ones, there's ones that you can buy. And so it's like web design without having to do the design yourself, which is good for someone who doesn't know much about design, but not that great for people who have something particular in mind. But here's, so you can see here's one that you would actually purchase. But if you want to try out a theme, you can come over here, find something that you do want to try. Here, let's just try this one right here. So I'm going to click on this. And so this is what your site would look like with this theme applied to it. And I haven't actually applied it to it. But if I did, I would want it. I would just click right here and it would activate that free site, and that's what my website would look like from now on, or until I change my mind and wanted to change it again. So if you don't like that one, let's see, I think we can just hit the back browser. Yeah, go in there. And let's see if there's just something a little more kind of generic, but not so generic as the first one. And as you're trying out new themes, write them down, write what you liked, what you didn't like about them, because sometimes if you think, oh, maybe that is the one, but let me just try something else, sometimes it can be hard to remember because there are a ton of free themes here. And you can also, like right now, they're being shown to you by the ones that people are using the most right now, but you can do a search: alphabetical, popular, newest, premium, and so on. But it's incredible how easy it is to add them, and you'll see how they can affect your site in a good or a bad way once your site becomes more complex. They all have their little things that that you probably say, well, that's a con, that's a pro. Certain things you can't do with certain sites. It would make a whole lot more sense once you have been working on this for a while. And as a designer, you really have to keep in mind what the goal of the site is, what's on it. If it's just a blog, then it probably makes sense to pick a site that's pretty colorful, like this one here, maybe, if you like this kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this one. But if you're showing your design work on this site, then that's probably a horrible site to choose. And you can see once you do select this site, there are a few other things that you can work on customizing some of them, not all of them. So it's telling me that this setting has been saved and the theme is active. Visit site, I could click here again. I like to just kind of stick with the same buttons and just click on here and it should bring the site up and we can see what it looks like with this new theme. I don't really care for this, but you get the idea of how simple it is to go from one thing to another very, very quickly. And you may have noticed that we have this home button up here and about button. I'm going to teach you how to completely customize all this stuff. But right now this website is set up so that the home page is a blog, and then they just by default gave you a secondary page here. And you could completely edit this page. In fact, if you click on edit, that's how easy it is to edit one of these. In fact, I've still got a couple minutes here before this recording ends. Let me just show you how easy it is. Just whatever you put in here is what is going to show on that page. And this is the second page of my website. And you can add images here if you click on this guy right here, and it's mostly self-explanatory how you do all this stuff. You can do some formatting on here, like boom, I just made something bold. There's this thing here at the very end that's called the kitchen sink. I would suggest that you turn that on because it gives you even more formatting options. Let's see. Let me just show you like an example of something that you could do here. So if you just wanted to make it a little more, give it a little bit more hierarchy, we could select this, go down here to this formatting option and select, say, a heading 2 for that. So that becomes a little bit bigger. You can do whatever you want down here. If you want people to be able to like and dislike and share a page, you can leave these on. I usually like my pages to look as much like just as a regular website as possible, and then leave this kind of stuff for the blog, so I'm more inclined to turn that off. But when we update this, then we'll have a second page that's a little more customized for our website. So when we click here to view it, we should be able to see the changes that we made. So see how it changed into the menu, what I typed in to that top line. And when I click on it, it takes me to the second page. And there's a little local formatting that I did, which, in this case doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But you get the idea. There's a lot of stuff to experiment with here. So this is a good way to set up your very first blog/website.